So today we're going to make a tenderloin of beef that's rubbed with herb and garlic and then roasted and served with a horseradish cream. So let's get started with this one. I love to just make this rub, and you can add lots of different herbs to it if you want, but the classic garlic, onion, rosemary, thyme, it's never wrong. So I have about a teaspoon of minced thyme. This is fresh minced thyme that I'm putting in my bowl. I also have a tablespoon of minced rosemary that I just chopped up really, really finely. And that's fresh. I want to take about 2 to 3 tablespoons of salt. It depends on how large the roast is. This one is about 5 pounds, so I'm going to take 3 tablespoons of salt. 2 tablespoons of black pepper. And then I want to take a teaspoon, full teaspoon, even heaping just a little bit, of onion powder. And the last ingredient is a dried minced garlic. Now I like to use the minced garlic on this. I think the flavor is really great, and it toasts up a little bit when it's in the oven, and you really get that crunchy, toasty flavor in that garlic. Now if you don't have that or can't find it, use about 1.5 teaspoons of just garlic powder. Let's mix that up a little bit. And then I want to add some olive oil. Three tablespoons of olive oil. So what I'm doing is making a nice little paste. So let's just stir all that around. Oh yeah, that's perfect. You can see that it's just enough to moisten it, but it's not swimming so much in the olive oil. And it's not dry either. Now let's get that loin. This is a gorgeous piece of meat, and what I want to do is just put about half of my rub on the top, and then come down the sides and tuck in to those little crevices, and then let's flip it over. Now let's make sure we really get it on the underside as well. And rub as you go to make sure that it's covering everything. Now I have just a tiny bit left. I'm going to rest this on a bed that I've made. I took a whole onion, large onion. I took 3 pieces of carrots, just 3 nice big pieces of carrot, and then 4 or 5 ribs of celery, and I just chopped them really big. Didn't peel, just washed and chopped. And then I put those down in my pan. This really acts as a roasting rack. So you want your meat not to rest in the moisture. You want it to roast around. And this works perfectly for that. So I've got it all ready. Let me just wash up my hands, and I'll show you what else we need to do with this pan. I want to finish this pan with a cup of red wine, nice dry red wine, and a cup of beef stock. Now remember that the vegetables will be breaking down and causing a little more liquid. The meat will be draining of its own liquid a little bit, and you're left with this wonderful dripping that you can use as au jus if you choose. Now this is going to go in a 450-degree oven for 15 minutes, and then reduce it to 350 and roast to your desired doneness. Now while that roast is roasting, let's get some other things ready, including sauce. So I'm going to start off with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. And I just want to whip that. What you're looking for is a nice, thick texture so that you have some peaks, but soft peaks. Remember, if you over whip heavy whipping cream, you just end up with butter. Now, just as you start to get these really soft peaks, we want to add some sour cream, about a half cup. You can also use mayo with this, but I like sour cream. The mayo tends to be a little salty and oily. And then you can add some fresh grated horseradish. This is about, 2 tablespoons to 3 tablespoons. It depends on how hot and spicy you like your sauce. I like mine spicy, but I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons because I don't know that everybody who's going to eat likes that much spice. Now, I'm going to add also a little cayenne. This is going to give just a speck of heat to this sauce, but it's also going to tie together the flavors in the wine and the wonderful horseradish. So let's add about a 1/4 teaspoon. Then I want to sprinkle with some salt and pepper, about a teaspoon mixed together. And I need a little lemon juice, just a little bit of acid. So let's soften that lemon by rolling it a little bit. And then you want to squeeze it so that the seeds go into your hand and not into your dish. Now, if your lemons are too hard, stick them in the microwave for 15 seconds. Let it rest a little bit before you try to cut into it and squeeze, because that juice is just going to go everywhere. But it makes it soft enough that you can squeeze it. Now, what I'm looking for is about a teaspoon to a teaspoon and a half of juice. Nice. There we go. Just that little bit of acid makes the world of difference. Now let's turn that mixer back on and blend all of our ingredients. So let's give it a little taste. Really, really good. So let's cut into this. Oh my goodness, it smells amazing in the kitchen, and I hope it's going to be perfect. I'm just going to cut right here in the center. Oh, look at that beauty. All right, just gorgeous, gorgeous meat. Now I just want to taste a little tiny piece just for myself before I put out a platter for all my guests, just to make sure it tastes just right. And I'm going to take a little bit of that cream. I'll be ready for that. There we go. Now let's try it with this little bit of Meritage, this beautiful Bordeaux blend. So good. What happens on your palate is that the tannins from the wine and the proteins of the meat come together and they just marry, and it's perfect. It's so good. The Bordeaux blends, the beautiful Petit Verdot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, just gorgeous, gorgeous blend of wine. So I hope next time you enjoy a beautiful roast tenderloin, you'll try this herb and garlic rub.